just walk me through exactly what happened with your mother's dog and how you ended up leaving it in the car at the airport. Kind of just walk me through the whole situation.
Yeah, for sure. Well, first of all, it wasn't in a car; it was in the back of a truck, in an open area with food and water and everything else. And yeah, I mean, I got a call about 5 days before from my mom, and she said the bank was at her house threatening to send her to jail, and she seemed really confused and disoriented. So I kind of started figuring out that she was just malnourished and a little bit out of it. So I started planning. I went to go to Texas. When I got out there, I realized that she was in a bad car accident last year. She lost her life partner. She was just completely out of it. And so I realized that we had to leave and I had to get her out of there. And she had 3 dogs. So I told her we have to give her dogs away. And, it caused some serious duress. That's all she has left. But I convinced her that we could give them away. And so we gave one of them away through Facebook. We listed Zelda, and just no one wanted to take her. So I got the next day, which was Saturday, we had to leave, and I just started calling shelters and calling everybody and say, hey, can you take a dog? We asked anybody, and everybody can take a dog. We stopped by 3 shelters on the way from Jefferson to Dallas. Nobody would take the dog. And, my mom was like, I don't want the dog to die. I don't want the dog to die. So I put on Facebook, I called everybody in Dallas. I tried everything humanly possible to get care for the dog, to let people know that we could not take the dog. And it came down to the final minutes, and there's nothing I could do for the dog. So I tied it in the back of the truck, gave it food and water, and laid all the paperwork out so everyone would know exactly who this was and what was going on. And then I called up security and said, there's a dog in a truck. I'll tell you exactly where he's at, and I want you to go check on him because the dog's in trouble. And I left. And, we got an email 3 days later that the dog had been found, scanned, because it's a chipped dog. And so we were like, oh, God, thank God, Zelda's okay. And that's the last I heard of it until the news and all this other stuff has come out. But it was absolute tragedy that, I would have never imagined myself in that position, having to make a decision like that. And, I love animals. So it just broke my heart to even think about being in that position. But that's where I ended up. And honestly, I did everything humanly possible for that animal. And, that's what happened. I don't know why they didn't take him out of the truck for 5 days. That makes no sense to me. Why would you leave an animal in a truck for 5 days? But I put him there, so I take responsibility for what has happened. But it wasn't through malice or because I was trying to hurt anything.
Do you feel like you're being treated unfairly?
Oh yeah, I totally think I'm being treated unfairly. But I'm a famous celebrity, so everyone wants to have their lashing, and hey, I get it. But I hope nobody has to go through what I just did. I hope nobody has to make the decisions that I did. And if they do, I hope they stand up for it and say, hey, that's what I did. And, it was wrong. I know what I did was wrong, but there was no way out of it. I had no other solution to solve that problem.
Why are you upset? What is it? The reaction? Is it that the dog stayed there for 5 days? What is upset?
Well, the dog stayed there for 5 days. I can't believe that. That wasn't what I was thinking. I thought they would come get it, so I didn't know.
As far as you know, is Zelda okay at this point? Is she okay?
Yeah, Zelda's okay. Zelda's in the protection of the SPCA. Zelda's happy. Zelda's fine. I talked to the 311 lady who took all the calls, reporting the dog. And she told me, hey, people were looking after the dog. People were there. The dog wasn't alone. But, it was there for 5 days.
Is there anything that you would do differently, Frank, if with the benefit of hindsight now, if you could go back?
I mean, I would have called the police on myself, obviously. I needed to call the police, not just security. So next time, if I ever get there, I'm going to call the police on myself, because what else do you do? I mean, obviously, that was none of my intention, was to hurt that animal. And I just wanted to save it. And, even as crappy as this turned out, Zelda's alive and Zelda's healthy. And, when we're here.
Is there anything else you'd like to say to everybody that's out there watching and has heard about this story?
Yeah, I mean, if you're an animal lover, I'm sorry. I would have never, and people that know me know I would have never hurt an animal. I don't believe in that. And this was something I would have never thought I would end up in a position like this, and I didn't know what to do.